Do you want to hear the rest of the story?
I do.
The rest of the story is the next spring or early summer, my husband and I are in Ames, and we're walking down Main Street past the Edward D. Jones office. And there was a couple guys that walked out of the building behind us. And one of them said to the other, "Hey, isn't that hog lady?" Now I'm going to tell you, I didn't want to be known as that.
When was your first experience with Market to Market?
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably a lot of people's first experience, but I grew up hearing about Sue Martin. That is how I grew up. Once I started, I was like, that would be such a dream to be able to be on this show. I think it's such an honor to be able to be on this show. Personally, I think every single market analyst that comes on the show does a fantastic job.
My first interaction with Market to Market would have been growing up as a kid. My dad watched Market to Market. My grandpa always watched Market to Market. And I would say, just as cattle feeders, the analyst that we all talked about and watched would have been Walt Hackney, the cattle guru that went on there. And Walt did an absolutely fantastic job.
One thing you left off was one of your activities at Western Illinois.
Yeah, I played rugby.
I love that, which is a transition to the Chicago Board of Trade in the old days.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was competitive.
Right.
And you were having to bull rush some things.
Yes, sir. You would get orders coming out from the phone. There were just rows of phones with clerks sitting there taking orders and then holding them up. And I would grab that order and I would run it out to that pit, but you've got runners going both directions. And I got known for really not caring who was in my way. And I was fairly wide, but low to the ground, right? So like, I would get underneath you and flip you right over my back. My nickname on the floor became Tank.
We want to turn, as usual we do at this time, to this week's commodity markets with market analyst John Roach of the Farmers Grain and Livestock Corporation. And John, with low subsoil moisture, how much lower is this corn going?
Well, Chet, it surprised me in how far it's sold off this past week. I don't think we'll see too much further decline before we see it start to recover.
We've got some other pressures on it, like wheat, but it should rally unless we get a lot of rain.
Well, at this point, the market seems to be watching the weather forecast a little closer than they are the crop development.
I really don't remember you asked who blanked out. I should have raised my hand because I don't remember specifically the first show. Walking into that, when you're used to a noisy brokerage office with a lot of people talking and so forth, suddenly it's perfectly quiet, and you ask a question, and it's like you're sitting there in a complete quiet spot, and that's stuck with me ever since.
And a very special guest analyst, Mark Gold, joins us as well. So both of you, welcome to Market. And Mark, good to have you here. These prices, this is Disneyland without going to Orlando.
No question about it. You know, when you get historic prices like this, we've all been waiting for beans in the teens for 30 some odd years. Now we not only have beans in the teens, we have wheat in the teens.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Gold.
I'm 71 now. Things aren't quite as clear as they were 20 years ago. I just don't really remember it that well. We had met once or twice before the R.J. O'Brien thing, but we really didn't know each other. And, it was nice to have the opportunity for a guy like me from the city, coming on a show like yours and getting exposure to so many farmers around the country. When I would go put on seminars, it gave me a lot of credibility to be out there. Because, who am I? Some city kid from Chicago. Why listen to me,
Naomi, I know a little bit about, I was here when I was on the production crew when you came. You weren't nervous at all, were you?
Oh, I was beyond sick to my stomach, and Mark sat out in the entryway with me for an hour, just trying to tell me jokes and calm me down. I mean, I was shaking, I was so nervous. Because it is gospel to be here, and it was such an honor and a privilege. And then, I grew up, and my dad, we had our dog food business, and so he would watch the show every weekend to know about grain prices. And he would, if he had to run outside with a customer or something, he would say, "No, you watch and you tell me what Sue says."
But I always say in the show that there's no place I would rather be than on the show in Iowa with you at that moment in time, and I really feel that way. It's a special moment. It's a special place. Someone like myself who's covered markets his whole life, to be recognized with some of the greatest minds in agriculture is very special, and I'm very humbled to be a part of it.
How many on the stage watched the show when they were younger, and maybe it was forced or not forced? Matt Bennett, tell me about, I know it's super quiet in your house that you grew up in on Sunday mornings in Illinois.
Yeah, so we'd get home from church and my dad would say, you're going to sit on the couch and you're going to watch this show and don't say anything and you might learn something. And I told you this before, Paul, but just so the audience hears it, I couldn't stand watching Market to Market as a kid. Because I was just a young guy, you know, and I'm sitting here trying to be quiet, first of all, but I mean, I probably watched more episodes than anybody my age that lives on planet Earth.
I actually met Mark. Mark and I were both on the floor. And when I decided to, when the floor really went away, that's when I segued into working with farmers and producers. And there were, you know, a half dozen people I could have gone to work with. I was very, very fortunate that Mark gave me a chance to come and learn. It was a really tough first year because I didn't know anything about speaking to people and trying to help them. And I credit a lot of my current and past success from watching him.
And what I like about this show is the opportunity to really explain what's behind it, to help teach more than just comment, but you're teaching so that the people can try to understand so they can make good decisions.
The full MTOM podcast is available now.